and welcome to another episode of 8-Bit Retro ReFix. And on this week's episode we're going to be revisiting the Amiga A500 that we looked at a few weeks ago, and it ended up with the CIA chip that was bad at the back. And on the video I had not noticed, and somebody pointed it out in the comments. This is why I like to hear from you guys, so if you have got any comments on these videos, please drop me a line. But what he said to me was the CPU was the wrong way around. Yes, it was. I don't normally play with A500s too much, so I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it to the degree that when I was swapping around with chips, I finally noticed. I swapped it around, took it out, looked at the silk screen on the board, and I put the CPU back in the correct way, and I had not picked up on that. But we still had a bad 8520 CAA chip in this one. If you remember rightly, I said to you it was broken on this corner here. In the meantime, the poor little thing's sort of fallen over, and we've lost a chunk here, and we've lost it broken off here, and right at the very corner just down here, if you can see, that's broken as well. So she's in bad shape, is this one. So what I'm going to do is pull out the floppy disk drive and the keyboard from this one, and we're going to put it into another working machine. But before I do that, what I want to do is just take this top off and replace that 6520 chip that we got. I ordered this one off the good old flea bay. I don't think it was over dear, but this is the one that we picked up off the flea bay. So if I remember rightly, in this system the odd chip was gone, so it was one that was back here. So what I'm going to do is just going to pop the top off now, and then I'll come back to you. So I've just popped them two fuse screws out, and as you can see, look, this whole bottom section is absolutely smashed to pieces. I'm just going to lift that top off now. See what we've got. As you can see, it's all broken to bits. So it's a shame, but these things happen when they get a little bit brittle. I don't know whether you can see on camera, but I'll try and lift it up for you. And also the bottom, if you look, all this corner's gone down here. So we need to be swapping this keyboard over into that other unit. The keys on the other one look really nice. These look like they could do with a really good retro bright. But what I'm going to do is, it's only got a couple of keys missing off that other one. So there's like the escape key, and I think, looks like 6 key. So we're going to take this one and take this one and put them onto this other unit. We'll come back to that in a minute, but we want to see whether this one's actually working or not. So if I flip the camera up for you, so we'll try that, and we should probably get a green. Yeah, that's what we get. And that's because that CIA chip's missing. So I'm just going to lift that out now, and we'll have a look. This is the chip that was missing, and yeah, it was the odd chip. So I'm just going to take that chip now that we've purchased, pop that in there. I've not even tested this chip, this is just how it's come a few weeks ago. I bought it, and then I picked up another A500 from Lee Thorley off Facebook. He does quite a lot with computers, so I just want to pop that in there. So that's his chip in that we've replaced. Just make sure that the notches, silk screen shows us notch over this way, the notches at this end with this little green sticker. I'll just push that back a little bit. Put the keyboard back in for the moment. So that's a CIA chip swapped. So I'm just going to pan you back up now so you can have a look and see watch this boot. So like I said, that's a CIA chip that's in now. This is the unit that we was playing with before, trying to get going. So I'm just going to see if that CIA chip's working now before we look at this other one. So we've got a boot screen, so that means it's loading up. So I'm just going to pop a disk in just to check, to be 100%, make sure we're working. It's a backup. I think it has a couple of games on here. I think there's James Pond and something else. Yeah, it's got James Pond on and Yolanda. So I'm just going to try and press F1. And F1 worked, because that shows us this keyboard's working. Wow, that looks like the Commodore 64 loading. Well, that looks as far as we can get it. I've got no mouse plugged in at the minute. I've got no joystick or anything plugged in, but we can see that the screen's booted. It's loaded the game, so that CIA chip seems to be working okay. So I'm just going to go get that other one now that we're going to use as a donor system for its casing, and we'll have a quick look and see what that's about. So this one is the other machine that I've picked up. As you can see, the keyboard's a lot nicer, but we do have the escape and the number 6 key missing. This keyboard doesn't actually work. I have plugged it in and tested it. It does load games, I'll show you that, but the keyboard doesn't function. So what I'm going to do is just switch that on now for you, just pan you up. As you can see, nice and away, we've got 3.1. I'm just going to put that same disc in again that had James Pond in. It'll take a few seconds to load up. So this is the James Pond disc. There's a reason why I wanted to put that one in to show you. So here we are back at that screen again. And if you look, you've got James Pond F1, you've Yolanda, which is F2, and F3, F4 and F5 are blank. But if I press F1, nothing happens. Press F2, nothing happens. So if I press F1, look, nothing happens. F2, nothing happens. F4, nothing happens. F5, nothing happens. We can type on the keyboard. As you can see, we've got some letters. We start getting to H and it stops. Y doesn't work. U doesn't work. R does. You know, you have S and D doesn't. So there is quite a few keys on here that don't work, to be fair. F3 did work, but there's nothing on F3 to load up on. I can't get F1, just will not. And all these are just unknown commands. So you can see that keyboard's not working. I mean, even down here, look, I've got nothing across the bottom of the keyboard. Nothing at all. No space bar. Caps lock even doesn't work. Caps lock's not working at all. So it's either the keyboard controller that's dead, or it's the cable that's going to the board. But what I'm going to do is take this apart now, because I want to use this case and these keys onto the other keyboard. So we're going to swap them over as well to make it nice and tidy. I will need to retro bright the number 6 and probably the F1 key, but we'll have a look. We'll see what it looks like when we get it all built back up. So I'm just going to go over to the bench now, and we'll start taking this one apart. And do I go over to the bench? I think I might just take the screws out of this one and then pop the other keyboard in just to make sure that it's okay and it's not the motherboard. So I'll do that now. Right, so I've pulled the top off that one. I've swapped the keyboard over. This is the same one as what I was just showing you, the one that had the missing keys in. So all I've done is taken that board out of this machine and put the other board into there. What I want to do is just start it up and see whether them keys actually do work, because if they don't work it might be another CIA problem, but we just need to test that now. So you can see we're back up to the menu screen, if you like. So I'm just going to pan back down there so we can check these buttons, and it says F1, so I'm just going to try some other keys first. So Z, X, so all bottom row works. That's great. Yeah, that's fine. So we know that the keys are working. If I press F1 now, look, if I do it straight away, if I press F4 at 3, that worked. F4 and 5 didn't, did it look? But F4 does now. Comes up with unknown command. F5 comes up with an unknown command. So does 3, because there's nothing there. But if I hit F1, it should take us into James Pond, which that should load up nicely. This drive seems really quiet. I don't know whether there's any point in me pulling the old motherboard out of that other one and putting it into this one, when this one seems to be a working machine anyway. So what I might do is just keep that other one in its base as a spares machine, and we'll swap the keys over on this board, and I think we'll just leave this one inside here. I'm going to give it a good clean out. It looks really rough inside. The RF shielding looks really bad as well. And we're back to that same point with James Pond look. So it has actually loaded up. So this machine's working. The keyboard's okay. So what I'm going to do is swap them keys over now, and then we'll have a clean out in this unit. So I'm going to see you back over at the bench. What I've done is picked up, you can do it on your phone if you wish, but I've just found, I've taken a picture and stuck it up there on my PC so it's on my screen so I can see where all the keys are going to go. It can be a little bit confusing once you've got all these off to where they were. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pull these keys out. This is the yellow keys which was working properly. So I might just do one for one. So I'll probably speed this video up for you so you don't need to watch me doing all this. So as you can see there, we're halfway through. It's taking a little bit while. You can see the number 6 there's a different colour. I'll show you a little bit more in detail when we get back over there once I've swapped all these over. Okay, so I suppose I better carry on. Wow, well that was a bit of a task. Right, well we've swapped all the nice clean keys, well reasonably nice clean keys, over into this dark keyboard, and swapped the dark keyboard keys over into this one. As you can see on this one now, we've got a yellow 6 key, we've got a yellow escape key. I didn't change this one down here, and I didn't change the return key here. The reason for that is if you look at the other one, the return key up there, look, it's different. I suppose I could have swapped it over anyway, but I wanted to keep the keyboard in keeping anyway. So I've just swapped the main things over. So you can see on them keys, these keys could do with the retro bright. That one could do with the retro bright, because you can see difference. We've got the 6 key up here that needs it, and the shift key down here and the escape. So when the sun comes back out towards the end of August, I might do a retro bright video. If you'd like me to do a retro bright video, drop me a comment down in the bottom. It would be good to hear from you, and your suggestions, they all go well towards the channel. So yeah, so if you want me to do a retro bright video, pop a comment down in the bottom and I'll look at that as soon as we've got some good weather again. So I'm just going to pop back over to where we've got the Amiga plugged in. The RF shield on that other one looks a little bit tatty, so I'm going to swap it with the one that we took out of the original one, and give it a bit of a clean out inside that other case. I'm not going to swap the motherboards over, it seems pointless. We've got a damaged bottom case, we've got a knackered keyboard, we've got a damaged top case, and we've got 2 working computers. So I might as well just put the keyboard back into the other one, tidy the other one up, and work off that one rather than swapping the motherboards about. The other one now, the top case is gone, bottom case is broken, keyboard's malfunctioning, keys are missing. So basically it's a spare board just in case I ever need one. And that's obviously if anybody sends me an Amiga A500 in for repairs, I can use that board as well for swapping about for chips and trying to find out, rather than pulling a good one apart like I had to do last time, and we ended up breaking everything with it because it was so brittle. I've no doubt it we're going to do that anyway. Okay, so we'll see you back over at the Amiga and we'll get this keyboard installed and that other RF shield. So we're back over here now, and you can see all these dust bunnies. Look at this, it's minging. Look at that. So I'm going to pop this shield off and we'll have a look, see what's underneath it, and give it a bit of a clean out. And then, because it looks so rough, if I can lift it to the camera up to let you have a look, you can see it's rough. So what I'm going to do is put the other RF shield in. Looks a little bit tidier than what the other one is. All the fingerprints on there, look. That is actually fingerprint. That's grease from your fingers that holds oxygen that corrodes the steel. So I'm going to put this one in just to make it look a little bit cleaner and tidier, smarter inside. Not that we're going to be going in there in a great deal of time. So I'm just going to pull that shield off now and we'll have a look inside. So as you can see, it's a bit dusty inside there. A little bit crusty, look. Look at all this. It's very, very crusty. All I use is a little paintbrush and I just brush it out. Some people don't like using these because it can cause static, but it's very minimal. Especially if you're using a new one and you use this brush for doing this regular. So as you can see in there now, looks a lot cleaner, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm just going to stick these floppy drive connectors back together. So floppy drive back connected. Just going to pop that RF shield on now. This is the RF shield we took out of the other one. Over, down at that side, bent over. So we're all in place there. I'm just going to try and get this little guide for the side panel. If you're going to put an expansion port or anything down there, this is just a little guide that holds that in place. It just sits on top of it. It sits on top or under. Okay. Right, keyboard. Let's keyboard in. Let's flick the switch and just check it, make sure while we're here that it is still working after we've been messing around with it. I think the disc's still in it again. Yeah, it is. So we're booting straight up into that. I'll just wait till that boot screen comes on. There we go. I've already done that, so we can see keyboards. Still working. Coolio. Just hit the button for the Yolanda, which were F2. Just have a quickie check. Don't think I've got audio plugged in anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we can see it's firing up and it's running. And keyboard we're working. So that's great. Let's turn it off and let's put the top cover on. So there we go, we're all back together and we're just starting the game up. This should be Myth. Remember right? Yep, Myth. Myth. So we can see all that's up and running now. We have got the other A500, which is basically a broken shell now, as backups. So I can use that for repairing other boards. I'm just going to leave that with the top off, I think. Put some screws in to hold the motherboard down, and I'll leave the top off this one and throw the rest, because it's just gone. It's too smashed up, it's too bad. So we'll just use this, leave this one as is for a test machine. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It just shows you a little bit of a teardown and swap around on some keys to get this other machine working and getting a good one. We know we have to do some retro brighting on some of the keys, which we'll do that in the summertime. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. Drop us a comment, hit the button, like and subscribe. Hit the little bell if you want to be notified for up and coming videos. Again, leave us a comment down the bottom. I'd really love to hear from you. And thank you again for watching another episode of the 8-Bit Retro Refix. It means a real lot to me. You don't know how much. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye!